Joe Biden is the greatest president the United States has ever seen. I know this may sound like a giant shift from me, from my usual schizo-autistic, overly conservative content. But hear me out here. Joe Biden, he's a hell of a president. We need more men like him. To start off, obviously, it's his speeches. There's something so inspiring about the way he can use words to really just change the world. Nobody knows words like Joe Biden.
If you if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to anyway.
Wow, hear that? Aren't you feeling really inspired? Aren't you feeling like you want to make a difference? I know I am. Let's listen to a few more of these.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happens?
Ah, yes, that spaghetti sauce store. My favorite. That is actually a go-to when giving speeches. If any of you need any advice on how to get better at public speaking, just talk about spaghetti sauce, man. The people love it. And remember that we are all created equal under, you know the thing. You know, when you really include your audience, when you tell them that they know the thing, they feel more connected to you. And I think that's what Joe Biden is trying to do here. But it doesn't end at his speeches. You have to have more than great speeches to be a great president. Let's just look at his children. Very respectable people. Very, very little controversy. I think that when I'm looking for a politician, we need to judge off of how good of a father they can be. Because if they can't be a good parent, if they can't lead their children to do something great, then how are they supposed to lead the nation in a good direction? So it's awesome that his children, especially his stand-up son Hunter, stays out of controversy. That is exactly what we want in a leader. Joe Biden also represents the middle class so well. You know, he's really just poverty Joe. He came from nothing. He's a really just build himself up type of guy. I mean, just look at his net worth. It's a really relatable one. I I just love the fact that I can relate to this guy with a net worth of just $8 million. This guy, he's down to earth. He's a humble feller. That is exactly what we need as presidents. I'm so tired of all these rich guys taking office. We don't need any of more of that. We have had enough old rich guys. And on that note, he's also a high energy young buck. You know, he may not look the part. He may look like he's 80, and I know technically on his birth certificate he is too. But he has that energy. He is a high energy zoomer in heart. And that is what we need in the president. Just look at these clips of all of his athletic ability. He really conquered those stairs like they were Everest. Keep going, big guy. I knew you had it in you. Look how gracefully he falls off that bike. You know, an old man, a weak old man, a frail guy, he would have just snapped. He wouldn't have been able to get back up after that bike fall. But Joe Biden, with his high energy, young attitude, he popped right back up because, you know, he's one of the kids. He's one of the youth when it comes down to it. He's just so graceful. The good, of course, does not stop there, though. Joe Biden also loves kids. He's practically one of them with his energy, as we stated before, so it makes sense that he would love them so much. But just check how beautiful these clips are.
I'm sorry to take so long, guys, but everybody knows I like kids better than people. I like kids better than people. Everybody knows I like kids better than people.
Look at Dan.
Now, very important thing I told my daughter and granddaughters, no serious guys till you're 30.
Okay.
Right?
No what?
No serious guys till you're 30.
I'll keep that in mind.
We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
This woman helped me get an awful lot done. At any rate. And you guys can sit in the edge or what, if I don't want you to have to stand all along, but it's up to you. By the way, he gave me permission to touch him. All right? Why don't you sit in the room like that?
Wow, look at that. I mean, who doesn't love a president who's good with kids? I mean, what a great trait to have. Joe Biden is also the least racist president in US history. Nobody hates racism more than the Joe Biden.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Wow, he really obliterated racism with that one. Racism ran away from America, swam back to Puerto Rico with those clips. I am so glad Joe Biden is fighting racism. Now, Biden also has a lot of experience in office. I mean, he has more experience than anybody has ever had on the planet. That's just working in office. Listen to this.
That's why I made it a priority my entire career to work closely with you. From the time I got to the Senate 180 years ago, as well as my tenure as vice president.
Dang, that is a long time to work for the American people. And 10 years as a vice president? I didn't even think that was possible, but Joe Biden is just smashing expectations. But you may think the good ends there, but I have one more thing on my list. Joe Biden loves his sister dearly. I mean, listen to this.
By the way, this is my little sister Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh no, this is oh, you switched on me.
Yep, Joe's husband, I believe he calls himself now. Respectable. I'm glad he is embracing his true self as his own husband or whatever. I guess I'm getting a little bit more confused about Joe Biden's tactics, but they're clearly working because he's the greatest president to ever do it. But he clearly is a family man. You gotta respect someone that is such a guy for his family. I'm gonna wrap it up there, though. I think 9 things that's enough to cover the list. So if you enjoyed, go ahead, like and subscribe. 2 videos a day here with a mix of politics, conspiracies, and self-improvement. And I promise that all my content is definitely very pro Joe Biden. And you will not be disappointed with what you will find on the rest of this channel. But I'm going to leave you off with the great words of Joe Biden. So, peace out, and God bless y'all.
And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.